Hello everyone, welcome to ACE Online and welcome to daily current affairs session. So we'll see briefly what are all the articles that we are going to cover for today before discussing in detail. First one, BrahMos missile. So it can be part of science and technology as well as defense. Next one, Vasuki indicus. So it is a ancient fossil. So it can be part of environment, or you can say science and technology also. So science and technology or environment. Next, indelible ink. So from Polity. So as the elections are going on, so there was a big article about indelible ink from Polity, right? Next one, coral bleaching, again environment. Next, Artemis Accords, very important, from science and technology. And we have around 4 to 5 facts. Finally, solving practice questions. So these are all the relevant articles from today's current affairs. So we will see. I hope my voice is clear and audio video both are fine, right? Yeah. So let's start with the discussion with the first article, BrahMos missile. So the context is Indo's BrahMos supersonic cruise missile. So there was an image. So here these are cruise missile. BrahMos supersonic means much higher than speed of sound, were delivered to Philippines on April 19th. So on April 19th, India has delivered the BrahMos supersonic cruise missiles manufactured by India, within India, and we have exported it to the Philippines. So that's why it becomes important. Now let's know what actually is a BrahMos missile. Before that, we need to know, as this is a cruise missile, we have just seen that this is a cruise missile with a supersonic speed. We have to see the difference between ballistic missile and cruise missiles. Okay, so these are ballistic missiles. In one of the sessions we have discussed this. So once the thrust is given, and then from here the gravity will take care, right, after reaching to the above atmosphere level for ballistic missile. So this is a ballistic missile, you can see here. After reaching to the top of the above atmosphere, it will, based on the gravity, so it will hit the target. So it is like a fire and forget, like a bullet. Once you fire, then you have to forget, you cannot guide it after that, right? So this is a ballistic missile, and cruise missiles takes very shorter altitude, so they don't go beyond atmospheres and all. It is a very short and very precise. So here the cost of ballistic missiles are lesser, right? Here the cruise missiles need more technical expertise and then more what you call funds as well, because they are very accurate and much speeder. So the target will be much speeder. So it is a cruise missile, right? So this is a cruise missile and these are ballistic missiles. Cruise missiles are much accurate and then faster than ballistic missiles, right? So now let's know about the BrahMos missile. As I said earlier, it is a supersonic cruise missile. So taking the shorter path, you can understand from here. It is a joint venture of India and Russia. Both countries, with the support of Russia, India is developing this BrahMos missile, right? So here two names are there. You can see the differences as well. Brah means Brahmaputra river, right? So Brahmaputra river, and then Mos means Moskova river of Russia. So they have named based on the two rivers, two important rivers of India and Russia. So this is a joint venture of India and Russia, and it can hit the target up to 290 kilometers. So you can see here, this is the 290 kilometers distance, and still we are trying to increase the distance up to 400 and 450 kilometers distance. Still it is under work, but as of now the range is 290 kilometers, right? So from here till 290 kilometers, this cruise missile can hit any range within 290, and this is the world's fastest cruise missile. So as I said, it is taking shorter path, it is much faster than ballistic missile, and it takes the speed of 2.8 times the speed of sound. So there is a speed of sound, right? And of that 2.8 times of the speed it goes. So this is the world's fastest cruise missile. This is also important, right? And it has two stages, like how rocket has 3 stages, 4 stages, and different fuels are there, solid fuel, liquid fuel, and cryogenic engine. We have discussed it, right? Rockets. The same way, this missile has 2 stages. First stage is solid propellant engine. we use solid fuels, right? And then in the second phase we are using the ramjet. I will tell you what is ramjet. So these are the this is a two-stage missile, cruise missile. You need to remember they will change these things like 3-stage, 4-stage, first stage, something like that. So this is a two-stage cruise missile. Now, before knowing into how it works and all, so observe here the ramjet. So here ramjet is a type of engine where the whatever this nozzle that we are using, it is pushed against the air. So air is coming, the missile is going with the high speed more than sound, right, 2.8 times more than sound, and the air that is facing will be compressed and it is developed as a combustion. So that fuel will be much faster because of the air coming with the much speeder. So the fuel that we are using will be more combustible and the fire is given. It pushes the missile in a much speeder manner, right? So this is a ramjet engine which we are using in the second stage. First stage, solid engine, solid fuel we are using, right? So first stage using the solid, the beginning will give approximately to the speed reaching beyond the sound, just like almost equal to the speed of sound or just more than that. And the second phase where the ramjet comes into the picture, it goes much faster. So it will take initially lower speed and then it will push us and then hit the target, right? So that is the working mechanism. Now it can be launched from multiple platforms. That means from aircraft or from submarine, from any truck, from the land. So it can be launched from anywhere, land as well as air as well as sea. So it is a multi-capable, multi-launch capacity missile. So this is also an important point. And also it can be launched even not only of the daytimes, it can also be launched in the night with very good accuracy. So there is no issue of weather condition because of the speed. There is no condition of wind and all. Anything, anywhere it can be used. As I said earlier, it works under the fire and forget. So once you fire the missile, you cannot control it. There are certain missiles where you can control by using the software and all. You can control the missile as well. But here once you fire, that's all. So it will reach to the final destination. So this is how. And what is the deal about with the Philippines? So this may be also asked. India's first BrahMos missile export has went to which country, something like that. So Philippines already has signed with the BrahMos Aerospace Private Limited, a company under DRDO. In 2022 January, an agreement was signed to supply the anti-ship missile system, right? Philippines is facing issue with the China and all, right? So they have agreed with this company under DRDO for approximately $375 million deal, and that was delivered by India yesterday, right? So this is the deal about. But this is not very important except that India, Philippines, who involved DRDO, that is sufficient. But know the features of ballistic missile or BrahMos missile, difference between ballistic, cruise missile, and what is the features of BrahMos missile. This you need to remember, right? Any doubts in this? Very good evening, Oindila, Sahana, Hare Krishna, Malini, Leela, Srinath, everyone, welcome to the session. So I have seen your messages lately. Anyway, is there any doubt from BrahMos missile? It is a very factual in nature. Just understand the features and how it works, right? Next one, Vasuki indicus. This was taken from The Hindu. A new fossil. Fossil means any dead material like skeleton. So anything related to the living being. It can be a fossil of plant, it can be fossil of animal, it can be fossil of humans. So anything, whichever the ancient times, the bones that was remains of the living beings, those are called as the fossils. Now, a huge prehistoric fossil of snake. So the bones of snake will still remain, right? So the bones, the material that we have will remain for many millions of years. So the scientist has found that they have explored the fossils of a snake from the Kutch region in Gujarat. There was a mine in Gujarat, in the Kutch mine. So there they have discovered some fossils of snake. So that's why we have taken this article. Now let's know more about it, right? So there is no background to tell you anything, but let's know the discovery, the elements related to the discovery. So researchers from Indian Institute of Technology, Roorkee, IIT Roorkee, they have reported to discover a fossil of one of the largest snakes in the world till now. It is not the largest, but yes, one of the largest. And this is believed to be have lived 47 million years ago. So 47 into 10 lakhs, right? So you can, it's more than what you call 4 crore years back we have seen, we have found out this fossil that this was lived before 47 million years ago. So they will ask you directly name and from which region. So that's how the questions are framed. And fossils were found from Kutch region. We have Kutch as well as Kambat region in the western coast. So it was discovered from the Kutch region. And this was named as Vasuki indicus. Vasuki indicus. Vasuki itself, the name gives some clue that this is a snake, right? And it is believed to be the total length of approximately 10 meters to 15 meters. So the length of the snake is believed to be 10 to 15 meters, approximately the van or school van or maybe the truck size. So that is the discovery. Now it belongs to the family of Matsodei. So there was already a discovery of such certain family of snakes called as Matsodei. So this family it was belonging to. So this is also important to be remembered. Now this is Matsodei is a certain family belongs to the snakes which are large in size, right? So you can see here one more snake that was discovered, not now but earlier itself we have discovered, which is called as Titanoboa. So this is the till now the largest snake that was discovered on the earth, right? So this is the largest snake ever. This name is also important. Longest ever snake discovered from the earth. This is about the discovery. So it is a factual in nature from where it was discovered, what actually the name indicates, what is the species about, and also you need to know about the Titanoboa. So factual in nature, I don't think so you have many doubts in this, right? So that is the second article. And next, the third article is indelible ink that we are using for the elections, right? So there was an article in the Indian Express about the indelible ink. Who produces it? What are all the components of it, right? What is the significance of it? So there was a detailed explanation. You might have seen that many of people have posted in social media, especially from the elections wherever it has happened yesterday, that is Tamil Nadu and all. So that's why there was an article related to the indelible ink. Now let's know about the facts related to the indelible ink which will be asked in the exams. Mysore Paints and Varnish Limited, it is a public organization, the company which was under the Karnataka government. So this is a company under Karnataka government which is the sole manufacturer of the indelible ink. So whatever the ink that we are using for our elections is solely or completely manufactured by Mysore Paints and Varnish Limited. No other company is allocated with the production, right? This is also important fact. Now why it is devised? It is devised to prevent a person to vote twice in the elections. Earlier now there was very strict regulations of such activities, but earlier few decades before there was a lot of rigging and all where people used to vote 2-3 times also, right? So this ink will identify the officials there that the person has already voted, and this ink will not go once it is marked, at least for 72 hours it will stay on your hand, so it will not go, right? So this was also mandated, very, very important provision, that this is not an executive action, but it was clearly mentioned under the law itself. Representation of People Act 1951. We have many times discussed that anything related to elections were handled under the Representation of People Act 1951. So under section 61 of this act, it was clearly mentioned that indelible ink has to be used for the elections. So since the start of elections till date, there was many changes in the election process and all, but we never changed this indelible ink. It was there from first general election till date. We are using the same type of ink, right? And what makes this indelible? That means what is the component of this ink such that it cannot be removed for at least 72 hours. What is there in that ink? So that is also important. It contains the silver nitrate. Silver nitrate you can see here. So it contains the silver nitrate. It is a colorless compound, but when exposed to the sunlight, especially the ultraviolet rays, right? Sun rays consist of a little bit ultraviolet rate. Even minute thing been capturing to or hitting towards that silver nitrate will leads to the formation of different colors of ink, preferably blue color. So this is the reason they may ask you in the exam, that silver nitrate is the reason where it is becoming the indelible, which cannot be removed. Also, higher silver nitrate increases the quality of the ink. So it will be more thicker and faster dry in nature. It can dry much faster, right? So if it is drying much faster, then you cannot remove it. Within microseconds, it will get drier. It also contains certain solvents like alcohol to, in addition or to support the drying process. So alcohol will dry much faster way when you pour on this. So it is mixed with the alcohol so that it is drier much faster, right? So this is also important. As I said earlier, it will remain resistant for 72 hours. Even if you are using soaps, whatever, you cannot remove that from your finger, right? Now the ink is also exported to more than 25 countries. Many countries are also depending on India for this particular ink, like Canada, Malaysia, Maldives. Many countries take this indelible ink from India, right? So these are all the facts about this indelible ink. Any doubts in this? So just remember who manufactures it, from legal, from where it was derived, and then the power to use from where it is derived, and what it contains, what are all additions, right? And how many hours that it can stay approximately. So those are all the facts need to be remembered. Next one, coral bleaching. So there was an article in the Indian Express explained page about coral bleaching, that 4th global mass coral bleaching event. That means already 3 times coral bleaching has already happened. So now this is the 4th mass coral bleaching that has been noted by National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration of USA, right? So they have recognized that 4th mass coral bleaching is going to happen. Since few days it is, since few years it has started, so it is still going on. That's what. Before knowing what is the coral bleaching and all, let's understand what actually are corals. So you can observe the diagram as well, the corals. So let me explain with the certain diagram to make you understand much better way. So corals are nothing but, there are a lot of dead organic matter in the oceans, right? And mostly of bones. Bones consist of CaCO3, calcium carbonate, right? CaCO3. And this bones material collected from the oceans together, all the bone materials combined together to form a single polyp. So all the material, calcium, the whatever the invertebrates which has the skeletals, they are combined to form as a bulk material and made as a polyp, right? And all these polyps together attach and becomes the coral reefs, right? So you can observe here. So a single coral will consist of a CaCO3, calcium carbonate from different bones material, invertebrate CaCO3 remains in the ocean. It is collected on all together attaches, becomes the coral reefs, right? So that is the coral reefs, and they are present under the water. They mainly consist of, as I said, coral polyp. A single one is called as a coral polyp, and together they are called as coral reefs, which consist of calcium carbonate. And one more important thing to be understood here is, if this is a coral polyp, this is the coral polyp, that means a single coral. Inside it, there is a small microorganism called zooxanthella. Zooxanthella. So there is a polyp, single coral polyp. Inside that there is a zooxanthella, a microorganism. So it performs a symbiotic relation. See, this is many times been asked in the exam. Symbiotic relation means mutually benefited. Both the things are mutually benefited. So here the zooxanthella will give the nutrients for the polyp the nutrients that require, and in turn this coral polyp will protect the zooxanthella. So no other animals can break this coral. I mean, of course there will be certain things. Most of the animals cannot break these corals and go inside to what you call to consume these microorganisms. So what there is a symbiotic relation where each other is helping here. Zooxanthellae is providing nutrients for to grow the coral reefs, and then the coral polyps are helping Zooxanthellae to not what you call allowing attack to some other organisms or fishes, right? So it is a mutual one. That's what you can see here as well. So spelling a little bit you can correct Zooxanthellae, right? So this is how they work. Now as this consists of Zooxanthellae and then coral and then all corals attaching together becoming the coral reef, right? So this is the phenomena to form the coral reef. Now you need to know the facts also in India where they are located, in world they are where located. So all these things also you need to know. Now the coral reefs are present in India at Gulf of Kutch. There is no Gulf of Kambat. In Gulf of Kambat there is no coral. So here in Gulf of Kutch we have corals, and then in the coast of Maharashtra and Odisha, Malwan coast, so you can see in the Arabian Sea, the western coast, they are located. And in Lakshadweep is completely made up of corals itself, and they are very strong that they are even making habitat for humans there, right? And then Gulf of Mannar in Tamil Nadu coast, and then Andaman Nicobar. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 places in India can be seen with the coral reefs. This is very important. Now in the world they are mostly located in the tropical regions. So this is a tropical regions, Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. Most of the corals lies in tropical regions. So they may give the statement by changing the things. So you need to know that they are mostly located in the tropical regions. This is also important fact. Now there are certain conditions also to sustain for coral reefs. What type of temperature should be there, what type of conditions should be there, that is also important to be known. The sea temperature should be 20 to 30 degrees. It should not be more, it should not be less. Anything if is happening, if it is higher temperature or if it is lower temperature, then corals may destroy or they will be killed, right? So temperature sensitive elements are the coral reefs. Then shallow seawater. The seawater should not be much deeper and it should not be much even thinner. It should around less than 700 meters deep. So from the top sea level, it should not go beyond 70 meters. So it is a shallow water, not deep water organisms. So they are the shallow water. And then clean salt water without any sediments. In many of the beaches there is a lot of sediments and all. So wherever there is a lot of sediment action, they won't stay, right? They won't live there. So the water should be very clear. Then polyp thrive on the seaward side. So as I said, the polyps need lot of nutrients and they reside in the seaward side rather than going into the complete landwards. They are located on the seaside because wave action will bring lot of nutrients and that will develop the favorable conditions for the coral reefs, right? And as I said, they are located mostly in the tropical region. So these are all the favorable conditions where corals will grow, right? If any of the changes happens, then they will die. Now coming to the coral bleaching. So coral bleaching is a phenomena which is a situation where corals will degrade, right? So coral bleaching means the color will remove, the quality of corals will get reduced. This is because there is a temperature changes. As I said, there are certain conditions. Now the temperatures are growing around the world. The temperatures growing beyond 30 degrees. So because of that, we are facing the coral bleaching, reduction in quality of corals, right? And also one more important thing is water should not become acidic. pH value should always be at least more than 5.5 or 6. If the acidification is happening, more CO2 is adding into the oceans, it will become acidic and the corals will also be killed. And whenever there is a coral bleaching, so here let me explain. If there is a coral bleaching, then what will happen? Coral will not have certain capacity to hold the Zooxanthellae inside. So it will expel, it will throw out that I myself cannot able to sustain. So how can I make you sustain inside? So it will throw and it will lose the color, the quality color, and in the long term they will also lose all the CaCO3 and they will become bleached. So that phenomena is called as a coral bleaching, right? So this is called as coral bleaching. Any doubts in this? Yes, yes, Leela Prasad, like the tortoise only, but this is a little bit different one where it will expel the things, right? So this is the phenomena of coral bleaching. Next one, Artemis Accords. Why we have taken this article? Again, this was taken from Indian Express. Sweden has become 38th country to join the Artemis record. You have to remember this also, which country has the recent addition to Artemis record. And we will discuss what actually are Artemis record, don't worry. Just know that Sweden is a recent country to become the part of Artemis record. And India is also a member, you can observe here, right? India is also member of the Artemis record. Now, let's understand what actually are Artemis record. Artemis name points to the name of moon. The Greek moon was called as Artemis. So that Greek name was taken and then agreement was formed by USA, right? So it was formed, the agreement was formed by USA, the drawn up, the made by USA. And for what? What is the objective of Artemis Accord? This is the most important thing. The main objective of Artemis record is, Artemis Accords are to sustain or to what you call long-term protection of exploration of moon, or even beyond that some space as well. But specifically we want to explore moon in a sustainable manner without affecting any of the things. We should not affect the moon, we should not affect other countries. So without affecting any other countries or even the moon, we need to explore the moon for the future generations, or for exploring or knowing the facts about the evolution of universe, right? So that was an agreement put forward by USA, and this was put forwarded in October 2020 by USA, right? United States Department of Space has launched this accord, and initially the 6 or 7 countries has joined. So India is not a founding member. India is not a founding member, right? So we have joined after that in 2023. In the last year only we have joined it, right? So this is peaceful exploration of space, especially of moon, was the objective of the agreement. As I said, India has joined in June 21, 2023 as a 27th nation. So India has joined as a 27th nation. Agreed, India has agreed that yes, we will also explore moon in a peaceful manner without affecting the moon environment or other countries. So that is the objective, right? Now, the mission, the Accords also plan to launch a space lab like thing and launching the humans into the space. Still it is yet to be known. NASA has planned to put humans into the moon in 2026. Of course, India is also planning for 2031 to launch humans into the moon, right? So there are many components of this Accords. No need to worry going into detail. Just know that we want to explore them in a peaceful manner, promote navigation, communication from moon to earth. The communication has to be promoted. So this is the objective of the scheme, right, or accord. Now we will go a little bit beyond the Artemis records or accords, right? So here international treaties governing the outer space. Apart from Artemis Accords, Artemis Accords was recent one which was launched by USA, and then India also joined. But before that we have a number of treaties where they will ask you in the exams as well. So let's know what are all the space treaties that are available for our world. First one, Outer Space Treaty of 1967. This was the first treaty signed by the global countries to basic framework for international space law. So how should we perform, or how should we conduct the test, and how the space should be explored. So all the basic conditions were put forward in this was signed under United Nations itself. It is not a mandatory one, voluntary one, but still it gives guidelines for the countries how to explore the space. Next one, Rescue Agreement in 1968. Rescue Agreement. So whatever may be the country, India and China is not a friendly country. So whatever may be the countries, if some country is already working in the space somewhere that mission has launched, and we need to rescue the astronauts, if the Chinese astronauts are there, for example, near to us. So if there is a scope, any country has to help each other to rescue the astronauts. It should not see as an enemy. This is a mandatory one signed between the countries, right? Next one, Liability Convention of 1972. Here, because of any launch of rockets or satellites, if it got failed and then it thrown into the other countries, if there is a damage, then that country has to bear the damage, right? So it keeps the liability of the country which has launched the space mission, right? Yeah. So these are the three things, and one more, Registration Convention of 1976, Registration Convention. So before launching any of the satellite, we have to register here. All the countries who have part of this agreement, who have signed and ratified, they have to inform this organization or treaty to all the countries before launching a mission, right? It is not like if we want to launch the mission, we can launch. We have to inform to the concerned parties, right? And then finally, Moon Agreement of 1979, Moon Agreement, to peaceful exploration of the moon, whatever scientific studies like Chandrayaan that we have launched. Except Moon Agreement, India has ratified all the treaties. All these treaties was ratified by India, except Moon Agreement. We have signed but not given ratification. Ratification means implementation. Just sign is agreement, ratification means implementation of the agreement, right? So this is the space missions, right? So those are all the articles for today. Now let's know the facts, factual pointers. Before that, I want to ask whether you have any doubts in these 5 articles or 6 articles. Any doubts in this? Okay, so let's move to the factual pointers. Meta platform. So Meta, you all know, it is a parent organization of Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp and all. They are going to launch the new Meta artificial intelligence using its latest technology, Llama 3. So this is important. Llama 3 recently mentioned in news, so something like that they may ask. So this is a new artificial technology which can help in messaging and then easy access, all these things, right? So they are launching a new Meta artificial intelligence with the new available technology, Llama 3, right? Yeah. Next one, Indian Institute of Science, IISc Bangalore, right, has launched Longevity India Initiative. Longevity India Initiative. And what is the aim of that? They want to study the element of aging, starting from 0 year when the child has born till 100 years. So they are studying the evolution of aging, how it will affect the humans, what are all the challenges that we face in every age. So they are going to study the whole longevity, that is the lifespan, what are all the changes that are happening in the aging, and find out the solutions for the same challenges. If they find any challenges, they want to find the solutions also to improve the quality of life, especially at the later phases of life. The elderly people are facing a lot of issues, so they want to study what are all the challenges that is happening and they want to find out the solutions, right? Next one, archaeologists has discovered 3 new archaeological sites in Telangana. Archaeologists has discovered 3 new sites called as Uragutta, and then one more sites at Damar Togu, and then Devarla Banda Mula. So these are the 3 sites. So maybe they won't ask you, but anyway they may just give these names and ask what are these. So recently discovered archaeological sites from Telangana, right? So this is a fact. Next, and very important thing, a very important fact that was collected from again Indian Express, that RLC. So you can see here, let's discuss first RLC and then we will know what are all the related to this issue related to it. So this is the RLC which is located between Kazakhstan and then Uzbekistan. Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan, this is the border, this is RLC. But now this RLC is not a sea like Arabian Sea, it is a lake, but the name was just given as a sea, and this is a saltwater lake. So it contains salts, that's why it was called as a RLC, right? It is a lake but not sea, fine. And this RLC has degraded, now there is no water here, it was completely formed into a desert, it became a desert now, right? So as this became a desert, you need to know where it is located and all, and now it was completely exhausted. So it completely became a desert-like situation. So there was an article or mentioning the same, that the dust storms in Central Asia, the dust from here is spreading, and there was a dust storms across the Central Asia because of the desertification of this lake, right? So this is the fact about Aral Sea. Fine. So those are all the articles for today. Now let's solve the MCQs, objective questions of the articles that we have discussed, right? So the first question, which of the following countries shares boundary with Aral Sea? So just now we have discussed. Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan and Turkmenistan. So let's see, it is not Kyrgyzstan, here you can eliminate, right? And then Turkmenistan, this also we can eliminate. Turkmenistan here also we can eliminate, all right? So Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan. So these are the two countries which shares the boundary, and very direct question. So answer is B. Next one, there are certain special conditions which are necessary prerequisites for the growth and development of corals. Yes, so there are certain conditions, right? The condition that is not favorable is, so they are asking which condition is not favorable. Yes, most all of you have answered it as correct in the previous question. Lakshmi, Ranjan, Malini, Swarupa, Trida, Srinath. So they are given certain conditions and asking which is not favorable. Surface temperature of the ocean must be below 15 degrees. Water must be shallow with a depth not exceeding 25 to 30 fathoms. So it is fathoms is a units of water depth. Coral need clear water that is free from abundant sediments. Climate should be of tropical regions. So which condition is not suitable, they are asking. Not suitable. So it should be in tropical regions. We have seen the world map, right? So it should be in the tropical regions. Clear water is also necessary, and then shallow depth is also necessary. But temperature is 20 to 30 degrees. It should not be more, it should not be less. So answer is A. Yes, Ranjan, Srinath, Lakshmi, Prasanna, Malini, all of you have answered correct. Very good. I encourage all of you to answer the question, so you will know how it will give you the confidence. Next question, consider the following statements regarding BrahMos missile. BrahMos missile. So there were three statements, and let's see, they have asked the correct statements. BrahMos is a supersonic surface-to-surface cruise missile. So they are saying surface-to-surface cruise missile, BrahMos. Next one, it is developed through a joint venture of India and United States. So this is the second statement. The missile derives its name from Brahmaputra and Moskova rivers. So these are the three statements. So let's see easy statements. So three should be there, we have seen, that is BrahMos full form. So you can eliminate two options. Second one, it is derived from India and United States, wrong. So Russia and India has developed this. So second statement is also wrong, fine. BrahMos is a supersonic surface to surface cruise missile. Yes, it is a surface to surface, from one surface to other surface, and that too is a cruise missile and not a ballistic missile. So first statement is also correct. So answer is A. Right. So 5 persons have answered as correct. Next one, which of the following statements about indelible ink is correct? So about indelible ink that we have discussed, which of the statements are correct? Indelible ink contains silver potassium cyanide devised to prevent a person from casting more than one vote. So that is the first statement. Second statement, Mysore Paints and Varnish Limited of Karnataka government is a sole manufacturer of the ink in India. That is the second statement. There are 4 statements in this. The export of this ink is strictly prohibited to maintain the confidentiality. So this is the third statement. It was legally mandated to use in the all type of elections in India. So these are the statements. Let's see the options 1, 2, 3, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4 and 2, 3, 4. First statement, it contains silver potassium cyanide. No, not silver potassium cyanide. It is silver nitrate. Silver nitrate. So first statement stands wrong. So you can eliminate 2 options. Mysore Paints and Varnish Limited is the sole manufacturing authority. Yes, so 2 should be there. The export of this ink is strictly prohibited to maintain confidentiality. Wrong. We are exporting it to many countries. As I said, 25 countries like Canada, Maldives. So we are exporting it. So third statement stands wrong. And 2 and 4. It is legally mandated under RPA Act of 1951. Right? So 4 is B. Someone have answered it as D. Yeah, right. So 4 is B. Last question for today. Vasuki indicus species recently discovered from the Kutch region is a reptile species, mammal species, bird species, primates. Yes, all of you have answered it correct. Hare Krishna, and then Trida, Lakshmi Prasanna, Malini, Trida, Oyendrila. So all of you have answered it as correct. Now answer for this last question, Vasuki indicus, right? So it is not a primate. Primate means chimpanzees, all those things. So it is not a primate and it is not a bird species. So it is the reptile species, not even the mammals. Snake is a reptile species. Yes. So that is all for today's session. I hope you have liked the session. As we have very few articles, we could be able to complete this in a quick manner, right? So that's all for today. Have a great evening. Happy studies.